great, and again, it is my great real pleasure for the record to welcome you all to this great and amazing gathering. Today, we will be featuring a great collaboration between the News Compass, created by Aviad Goz, together with one of our biggest, greatest, I don't know how to say it, how to really put it, like one of our all-time partners, Andreas Geh. I don't know how to say your name correctly, ever, you know.
Andy is good.
Andy is amazing. So the amazing Andy. And together with Aviad, we created the specially designed transformation process, which is a combination between news and to leadership work. And today is all about transformation, what it is not, and how can we better do it, powered by the great AI that we developed. So without further ado, because I know most of you, all of you know news, and I will not go into who we are and what we do because you all know us. So I'm really proud and really honored to welcome Aviad to start us through the process. So welcome.
So, hello everyone from all corners of the earth. Nice to see you. We will keep it intimate, although very global. So, I'm actually today more introducing Andy and then the AI part in transformation. But we've been working with Andy for, I think, 6 or 7 years now. And they are in charge of Germany and Central Europe. But Andy took a few years ago with his company to leadership a very specific direction, and they focused on transformation processes in organizations. And actually, they excluded everything else, and they went head on completely into transformation processes. They worked over these years with small organizations, medium organizations, and even giants of 30,000 people and more. And Andy brought to the transformation process a special content that he created with To Leadership. And together with the News Navigation and News Compass, they offer what we call unique and true organizational transformation process. And he also leads our transformation initiatives globally. And now we have 5 countries at least that work in the same methodology of deep transformation in organizations, in collaboration between the News Navigation and To Leadership. And Andy also is a good friend, and he's one of the top nature photographers on Earth. So please welcome, don't be humble, Andy. So please welcome Andy, who will start this process, and I will join late.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. And thanks for having the opportunity to collaborate here with Sarah, Aviad, the news team, talking about a topic around transformation, especially in combination with the AI era and the Aviad Goz AI Coach that has been started last year, and we are now in the middle of experiencing the power of this parallel intelligence. So we can just use this as an opportunity to improve transformation initiatives with this tool, and we want to give you an insight to to an ongoing experience about this. Okay, is everybody seeing the screen? Good. So we just want to start with a question: what is organizational transformation in real, just to create a foundation? Because we figured out over the years that the word transformation is used manifold, but also very often for initiatives or topics in organizational reality that are maybe not really transformations, but the word is used for it. So it's good to go back to the metaphor of the nature, and one metaphor is very, very common. That is the transformation from, and I'm a nature photographer, as Aviad said, so I like nature metaphors for these kind of things. So it's the transformation from a caterpillar to a butterfly. In reality, this metaphor is not pretty good, we figured out over the time, because it's totally unrealistic in today's world that an organization can transform like a caterpillar, eating all day long everything to get fat and powerful to step into a transformation initiative. Then this detaching from reality by cocooning, focusing on the internal changes and transformation, and after a while coming out with a new identity or with a new ability. So this is, in our industrial environment, totally unrealistic, and that's the reason why we are using another metaphor, that is the metaphor of the transformation from a tadpole to a frog. Why are we using this? Because a tadpole is the preferred food of almost everybody else in the sea. And during the enormous transformation in the inner body of this animal, it is hunted all day long and needs to hide and feed and survive. And that's a bit more the reality of our industry, of our organizational truth today. But when we ask, what is transformation? It is important to understand that it is always about a different result that we want to achieve. So whenever you need or want different results, or your clients or your partners are on the way to create different results within their reality, it is important to be aware that this is called a true transformation. Because if you want to achieve different results, it's important to act differently. And people are acting differently only if they have a different understanding, have a different mindset, are thinking differently. And to make people think different, it's important to create different conditions that this can be changed. And that's the reason why we are calling transformations always that the transformation is starting with you rewiring your thinking. So whenever thinking needs to change, then we are talking about a transformation. And also organizational transformation is connected to that. So there is a good example, for example, in industry, where we can see that a true transformation can really called such as, and I'm picking out a big company named Bayer. You know Bayer, maybe, globally. Bayer is a good example, and Bill Anderson is really a good leader who understood that the rewiring of the thinking of the people is the foundation of every change and transformation within the organization. And he started and shaped a new mindset and called it the dynamic shared ownership among leaders and organizational parts. And this was the foundation to change the structure within Bayer, and he is on the way with a good progress. So that's a good example. But there is also the question, what is not an organizational transformation? And maybe I just ask you, what do you think is not a transformation when you look around in your markets or in your organizations? Who has an idea? One or two or three, maybe. Nobody? Give it a try. Javier?
Launching a new product or a new version of a product.
Yeah, probably. This is something that seems to be not a transformation. And why is it not a transformation? Somebody else, maybe an idea? Okay, so let me just give you this understanding. If an organization wants just less or more of the same results, for example, like Javier said, if an organization is implementing a new product or is launching a new product within the portfolio or within their purpose, this is not really a transformation. It's just less and more of the same results. And that's the reason why many projects and many initiatives in organizational reality are called transformation, but are not really transformation from that definition we just said about changing mindset. For example, cost cutting and layoffs. Yeah, reducing the size of an organization to be more fit for the market, or growth with more staffing is also not a transformation, because it's just more of the same results that the organization wants to achieve with more staff. Restructuring processes, let me just put me another window here. Restructuring processes, process optimization to become more efficient is also not really a transformation, because everything is focused on just changing the processes and the definitions to create more efficiency. And also digitalization by implementing a new technology is not really a transformation if the new technology is just installed in a company for creating less or more. And finally, AI transformation is very often called transformation, but by just implementing LLM tools, this is not really a transformation. It is more a process that is that exchanges another process. There is a question from Thomasine.
So yeah, I was just thinking as you were talking that often transformation is associated with the activities of learning and development and the effort behind that. But as you're saying, if that doesn't lead to a different state, that's also not transformation, unfortunately.
Yeah, oh yeah, true. And these activities are also very often implemented in a transactional style that doesn't really lead to a different mindset or a different behavior. So
also Paddy noted quite the same in the chat.
yeah, sorry, Paddy. Thanks. Yeah, so it is really important to understand first, are we talking about a true need of transformation, which means always rewiring mindset, or are we talking just about initiatives that can also be executed in a transactional way? So there is also another example in the market, unfortunately in Germany, that shows pretty well a huge transformation that seems to be needed, but a transactional approach that is by far a transformation from in the manner of our definition. And this is, for example, Volkswagen. Yeah? It's a global company, and they try again and again by cost cutting and by restructuring activities to transform the corporation. But bottom line, this doesn't work. And they are stuck always in the same situation that it is not enough, and they try to do another round of cost cutting and layoffs, which is unfortunately leading to a very, very sad situation, but not a true transformation. So, and if we observe transformation initiatives and how our organizations execute transformation, we can observe a common pattern. And the common pattern is starting always with the analysis, the vision, the analysis of the situation, and the creation of the vision and the strategy to achieve the new result, to become a butterfly or a frog or whatever the company wants to achieve. Then they are figuring out with a lot of effort the organizational structure and system changes that should be happen, that the new target, that the new picture can be achieved. And then first and foremost, there is a reorganization, and the reorganization is starting with moving boxes around responsibilities and everything around infrastructure investments or environmental investments and organizational investments around restructuring. And if this is on the way, the organizations start to organize process changes like installing new software tools or AI tools to create the foundation for more effectiveness or efficiency. And last but not least, there is an expectation that the people that are affected by these changed conditions and changed environment should change their behavior. So this is the way how transformation is approached in today's industry and organizational truth. People are changing the conditions by reorganizing and by changing processes or implementing new processes, and then they are forcing the workforce, the involved people, to act with a different behavior within that new structure to achieve new results. And this is a very common approach, and this is following these two axioms that are pretty old in the meanwhile, like the first one that says that structure follows strategy. That is based on Alfred D. Chandler's book, Structure and Strategies, and it is from 1962, from the industrial age in globally. And the second axiom is that people follow structure, which is not wrong, it's true, but it takes a lot of time, sometimes generations. And today's reality, today's industrial and organizational reality does not have this time anymore, as it may be the reality 50 years ago. So the question is, what steps did you experience in transformation? And maybe we can hear one or two true life experiences if you look at this picture about transformation and how it is executed today is the prevailing academic approach and also the consultancy-driven approach in organizations with industrial mindset and transactional tools. Somebody with an example or with a...
Yeah, I have a good example. It's not my own organization, but I worked with a very large client called Amdocs, which is the largest globally in billing and CRM, like 25,000 people.
Mhm.
They would do a transformation and reorganization like every year and a half, and based mainly on organizational structure, system change, reorganization, to the point that after doing this for 4 or 5 times, during the times that I worked with them, eventually they came to a situation that most of the employees did not cooperate with the transformation and just took a step back and said, we don't know what will happen tomorrow, everything changes, let's keep what we do always until the next manager will move on and the next idea will come. We don't want to take part in this crazy game. So that's my experience.
Yeah, thanks, Aviad. So, and if transformation doesn't proceed, and the organization tends to blame the processes and systems that have been designed for the new organization. Paddy, you want to say something?
Yeah, thanks, Andy. So I see this happening quite a lot with a lot of startups in India, which transitions to an IPO phase. So you typically see them structure, follow strategy till they kind of establish. And the moment they grow and they go into an IPO, they come and expect people to follow structure because it's a lot of investors which is open to the public market, and therefore shareholders challenge them and question them, and therefore they are expected to. So Swiggy is a classic example where we have worked. Another aspect that I also see is in the global capability or the GCC space. Again, way back in India, 10, 15 years ago, a lot of entities from the US, UK, Europe came into India for cost economics or talent economics as a call center, which then moved into business process outsourcing. But today we are seeing a huge transition and transformation to becoming global capability centers or global talent hub, or rename themselves as center of excellence, where it is not volume or scale, it's more of value. So these are the two places I see where these axioms typically work.
Yeah, thanks, Paddy. So there are a lot of examples, and I'm just picking out one aspect that we observe a lot whenever transformation initiatives are not proceeding or not creating the results that the management wants to achieve. The people typically blame the systems and processes because the whole focus of the transformation is on that area. And the typical reaction of the managers and leaders that are creating the conditions, they focus on improving the processes and the organizational structure. And so this is a cycle that is going on and is addressing always this systemic piece, and this is something we call the systemic trap. So there is another approach that needs to be done, and that's what we are doing, and what's our experience today, that this seems to work much better, and we have some good examples here already. And it's also 5 steps. So there is also a strategic analysis at the beginning, and the strategy development, and a vision, a goal, a goal envisioning that needs to be done at the beginning. But we combine this with a cultural analysis as well, and we start from the beginning that there must be a connection between these two elements. And within these first steps, it's always our focus to create a mindset at the leaders that create the conditions, that they have the right mindset for the transformation to keep these two elements connected from the beginning, and to define it in a way where the communication into the organization is understandable and seamless from the beginning, not only on the strategic side, but also on the cultural side, and the connections and the relation between these two aspects. And within the next step, it's important, and we are focusing on creating skills or developing skills and tools for the execution of this combined and connected understanding to create true change conditions. And when this has a certain level of maturity, what we call readiness, transformation readiness, then there is a good room and a good starting point for a participative change of the systems and processes that needs to be changed within a transformation initiative. And after that, there is an implementation and optimization that can happen differently and with much more involvement of the people that needs to act differently. So, and this is following another axiom, and this axiom is called culture enables strategy, and not culture follows strategy or whatever, or culture is created by the systemic environment. Culture enables strategy. So the cultural understanding is first. And then the second axiom is that people engage with leaders and follow them into the new structures or the new processes with a different mindset. And that's the way how we approach it. And that's a question to you again. What kind of an approach do you experience when you observe your clients, your partners, or within your own organization? Is it more about this changes first and then expecting the people with pressure to live these new structures with a new mindset? Or is it more about a real leadership culture? And here we are using the news compass in a first and very understandable way, that we need to rotate around the compass clockwise to create conditions and a leadership culture that enables people to rewire their thinking. And this starts with rewiring of the thinking of the leadership itself. Anyone here? Thumbs up, Walter. So the compass is a pretty good tool to envision what is needed for a true transformation. And I give you an example from the real business world. And this I'm picking out an example of a small company in Germany that is going through a transformation. And in this case, this is transformation because they grow fast and they step towards a complexity step. It's a company that is an acquired producer of sensors, and this is a part of a global industrial supplier, a bigger company. And this company has 240 people with a planned growth of up to 350 till 2030. So it's a good condition here, rare in Germany actually, but there are some companies in that situation. And the initial situation of this company last year when we started to work was that they are in a rapid growth, but they are feeling more and more scaling boundaries because they employed about 50 people in 2 years, and they are feeling more and more issues by dealing with that bigger size. Then there had also a lot of communication gaps internally within their organization and towards the headquarters, and some structural friction. So that was the starting point. And the challenge that has been identified by discussing with the leaders of this organization is that they are circling in a systemic trap because they tried several times to change structures and to change processes due to the fact that they had more employees and got stuck somehow. There was a behavioral resistance, and they did a lot of HQ blaming when things didn't work, and they are blaming the HQ that the processes are too complex and all these kind of things. But they also had a kind of a low strategic identity. If they were asked about changing things, they said, it's the role of the headquarters. We are just a producing company. And a lot of operational overload. So that was the challenge. And what did we do? We started with them in May 25, by kicking off a project with the top leaders and defined together how we approach this situation. And as you can see in the brown coloring in this graph here, the next step was a kick-off navigation process. So it's a news navigation process embedded in this leadership and transformation understanding we created over the years. But it is a navigation in core and the usage of the compass to make transformation happen. So the analysis and the strategic and cultural alignment and creation of the North was done with this news navigation process. And this was already the starting point where the people rewired their mindset and understood how they need to create conditions for a true transformation. And then in the second steps, we call this the steps of readiness and transmission. We created an understanding about the skills and the tools for execution and how to change these conditions. And we did train them and support them to develop these skills, that they created the readiness for the transformation and started to participatively change the systems and processes. And this year at the beginning, we started to use Aviad Goz AI Coach as a tool to support the leaders in parallel to their executive coaching support and checkpoints, navigation checkpoints, to use Aviad Goz AI Coach for their readiness and transmission activities. So, and if you look to the results by now, and it's an ongoing project, they already experienced, and we have the feedback from the headquarter about it, that they have a unified strategic alignment within the senior leadership team. An improved emancipated identity to be accountable for the strategy. They started to delegate actively making decision-making into the leadership team and not just by the general manager, and have an improved relationship within the team in the meanwhile, and are able to create the strategic process while they ensured silo busting via good cooperation and the improved stakeholder management. And this is also achieved and experienced by the headquarter, and the business impact behind it was that by now there's more trust in the headquarter that this subsidiary is fit for the global growth strategy. Some resources are released. They have been able to protect the high operational excellence, the delivery quality and timing, although they are working on their strategy execution, and they have an aligned infrastructural development with the HQ and stuff, and in the meanwhile, the potential to take over additional products for the site. So this is the outcome in the meanwhile. And I just want to summarize this, that readiness has always to do with keeping people in an execution band, which means which keeps people in a band, in a state, in a emotional state where they contribute to change and where they are willing to change their minds and behaviors, acting differently and not reacting like you can read here in the top or in the bottom area. So it's all about keeping people in the execution band. And as better this happens, as better is the readiness you can measure within the organization. And for that, we are using the News Compass as a diagnostic tool first, and then as a navigation instrument to support organizations by managing or leading their transformation initiatives and identifying where the people are stuck outside of this execution band. For example, if the goals are not clear, there is a lack of participation, and there must be more north work. If east and south issues, we call that in the compass, as most of you know, intrinsic motivation and limiting beliefs, fears, and difficulties. If these things are not censored in the right way, there is a lack of empathy. And this lack of empathy is mostly connected to a lack of leadership by the ability to create psychological safety for the people to change their thinking and their behavior, and to be brave enough to start into to do new and different things. And last but not least, we very often observe that operational busyness is killing strategic progress, and then we have a lack of management. And this mapping to the News Compass is the excellent starting point for using Aviad Goz AI Coach to support the people in their readiness and transmission phase. And to go a bit deeper into that, I'm handing over to Aviad to tell us about Aviad Goz AI Coach and the idea behind this combination.
Thank you, Andy. If you can stop sharing, please.
Mhm.
And we can see everyone. Hello, everyone. Are you still there? Can you wave? Not electronically, but manually. Oh, I see some people joined us. Michael and our friend from Samling, Hungary. Okay, so It was very difficult actually to work with Andy to bring it to such a condensed description, because they really do transformation processes that take 2 years or 3 years. And we did our best to condense it to something simple and that can be easily understood. Who of the people here is using AI in some form or another? Can you put your hand up? Okay, so really everyone. By the way, when we asked this half a year ago, there was like some. A year ago, almost no one. So everyone here is using AI in one form or another. And actually the AI that most people are using, whether it's ChatGPT or Claude or Copilot or any of those, is used actually to improve efficiency. Okay? Improve efficiency means more data, faster processes, better analysis, huge data to plan, good writing, quick writing. So I'd like to introduce to you a very unique development, which is called humbly Aviad Goz AI Coach. It was developed by a company called Marga that has a very unique AI approach. It's not even an LLM like you're used to. It's not large language, it's a different model developed by some professors. And what they do, they duplicate people. I know it sounds strange, but that's what they do. So they take people that in their mind are masters in certain field. It can be a Zen Buddhist master. It can be a doctor, which is globally known for cancer approach. It could be all kinds, and they do all of these types. And they approached me more than a year ago to do a coach, to take all the work we did in news for years, or my books, everything, and then to train it as a coach. Because I don't know if you know, but AI, you need first to put all the data in, and then you need to train it. And because we have experience for many, many years of training and certifying coaches, we could train this AI really as a coach, okay? And so it's running now. It was launched to the market in November. We have already some hundreds of people using it. We have some organizations using it with amazing, crazy results. And as you will hear, we have a very special edition that accompanies the transformation processes. It was developed particularly for that. So let me share with you my, I don't know if you can see it. We are here. So can you see it? No.
We see your Zoom.
That's good, but it doesn't want to go away. Just a second. Hello. Yes, that's very good. So Andy spoke about the news compass from a very particular angle. I would like to tackle it from another angle. Our processes are based on this news compass that I created exactly 20 years ago this year. And it helps us to navigate individuals, teams, and organizations across the globe for the last 20 years. The AI coach works on the same system, okay? It works on the same model, the same language. Now, for us to have what we call parallel intelligence, this is a very basic requirement, meaning the language and the process done by the person who is doing the navigation or the transformation work should be the same language that the AI coach is using. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So here we have a situation where the transformation work or the navigation work is done with the news compass in all its levels. And then the AI coach comes in and uses the same framework. And so there can be a continuity and parallel language. So I'll speak a bit about the AI coach and how it plays in transformation. So the AI coach can help individuals navigate their journey, but we use it a lot to help leadership teams to navigate the organization. And we have now a special edition where we can take the results of navigation, which Andy described, which they do in the beginning of the process, and upload the results on the AI coach. So when we do that, all the coaching conversations that people in that organization have are in the context of that organization. In terms of strategy, in terms of culture, it's all in the same alignment. So we are very much, and you know the debate, if human or AI and how many people will lose their jobs and so on, we are very much in the space of human plus AI navigation, which equals parallel intelligence. So whatever the people like Andy and his teams are good at, we let humans do, which is the big picture, the creativity, the deep discussions, the creating of strategy, the change of the culture. And then comes in the AI coach, and what it can do, no human can do, which is to be present all the time, to be systematic, and to help people, to coach people at any moment, any crossroad, at scale, so everyone can move together and faster. I think Andy would agree that our challenge over the years was that after we do a good navigation process with the leadership, then there is the challenge of implementing it. The same like training. And we created checkpoints and champions and all kinds of things to help the implementation. However, the AI coach that participants get is, you cannot compare it to anything else in terms of allowing implementation. So if we look at the stages of transformation that Andy related to, so phase one after the diagnosis and everything is creation. So in this process, there is a navigation process with the leadership team. It's 2 days. And these 2 days, the leadership team creates together the next phase. They create the transformation process, the culture that is going to be played out. They overcome their limits, and they go out of this process aligned, focused, energized, and committed. Following that step, there is the readiness step. The readiness step includes many elements, but one of them is the AI coach. Because if you remember, the readiness phase in transformation is for the conditions and the mindsets to be ready for what will follow. So it's all the mind shift and the new thinking and the new behavior and being ready for the change. So basically, the AI coach here allows personal coach for each leader, but more than that, in organizational context. So it's using the compass, it's using news way of working, but the context is of that organization. So the strategy, the culture, the goals, and it speaks to people within their context. And it's done by loading the results of navigation. Each leader receives specific assignments also to do with the transformation. with the AI coach. And then we have practical guidance, how to use it to actually do these assignments. Then the third phase is the readiness into execution. And as you all know, anyone who dealt with organizations, always, the execution is always the big question. You can have amazing processes till it comes to execution, but in execution, sometimes things get dispersed, and there are different views and different activities, and sometimes it trickles down and disperses. So what we do is we do accountability process where the leaders have a lot of transformation activities, but once a month we have a checkpoint to see how they are dealing with the real world assignments we gave them to do with AI. So leaders apply their coaching in live work situations. The facilitator holds monthly reviews to ensure progress, course correction, and sustain momentum, and also to oversee. We believe that responsible usage of AI needs human oversight. Otherwise, you have no idea what people are doing with it. Does it work for them? Not. Some people are early adopters, some are late adopters. So these monthly checkups just for a few months get everyone on board and let them actually use it. So can you imagine that the whole team and then further layers into the organization have the same coach? It's very private. It doesn't share your information with anyone, but it has the organizational wisdom and track record and evolution process. And so what we found so far is that what it does in transformation processes and also in navigation processes, which are shorter, it accelerates organizations. They actually reach the results they wanted, and Andy spoke a lot about results, much faster. Actually, so fast that we are amazed, and they are amazed. And I think the trick is that following a good work of navigation and the beginning of transformation, each one has a coach that they can consult with daily of how to bring the strategy, culture into the daily decisions, daily activities, and this makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. It's all aligned, it's all focused, and in this way, human and AI actually synergize beautifully. The human process is co-creation, engaging, leading imagination, deep life discussions, AI coach, always present, accessible, scalable, perfect memory, consistency, safe. It's upskilling you, which is amazing. It's part of why people who use it get also accelerated. It's aligning, and best of all, there is no bias or judgment. There's just a coach that accompanies you as a leader in the process. And then, of course, human follow-up for accountability, oversight, and course correction. And I will happily give you back to Sarah's good hands, unless there are any questions or remarks. Andreas. That's a nice remark, Andreas. Okay, Sarah, will you take
Thank
us
you
from here?
both. Yes, thank you both, Aviad and Andy. Andy, don't go away anywhere because we need you again in a minute. It is my real great pleasure to announce today that, as you know, we have a few versions of the Aviad Goz AI Coach. We have the standard one and we have the premium one. These are the ones that Aviad talked about till now. And today we are launching a special version for the transformation processes that we're doing. And it combines all the knowledge of Aviad Goz AI and the knowledge of the transformation processes, which are unique to our methodology, which we developed together with To Leadership. So it's a very specialized version. It is also speaks the lingo and the jargon of the transformation processes that we do internally. And we asked Andy today to give us a glimpse or a taste from this specialized version of this AI. So first of all, congrats about the new version, which is like amazing. And Andy, to you.
Yeah, thanks. And before I show you a small live test, I just want to say it was really an amazing experience to me and to us as a team to see how this seamlessly worked together, and what we created in the last 8 years is now also reflecting or reflected in the behavior of Aviad Goz AI Coach. So like friends are working together in the real life, Aviad, right? Aviad Goz AI Coach is also acting like this and is using all this combined knowledge to support most of you as potential partners if you are working with this framework and if you are using or if you are becoming a part of this transformation framework. It could be used to have a sparring partner for preparing your own activities with your clients. And if you are in real transformation situation yourself with your company or as a leader, to use Aviad Goz AI Coach as a real coaching support on companionship for the activities around the transformation, accountability, and creating the right conditions and everything around that. So let me just switch to this version, and now you should see, yeah, now you should see it. Someone nodding? Yeah. And I would just like to, and it is Aviad Goz AI Coach, but just a different link. And it is the same as you maybe probably have seen before. With this small addition, you can read here that the compass is now including the transformation methodology of that is developed by To Leadership. And then when you start working with Aviad Goz AI Coach Transformation Edition, like you can see here on the top, it's important that the coach knows the situation. And I'm just picking out a guinea pig who wants to support this. Javier? Yes. So Javier, please let me just start by going to these 3 questions that you can read here. So yeah, your name I think is pretty clear, right? So
Yeah, I am
yes.
Javier.
So I am Javier. What is your role, Javier?
Let's
What do you
say
pick out as an example?
the CEO of a fast growing company with actually 240 people towards 350 in 2030.
Okay, I think we remember this is from the example. You are playing the role of this general manager of this company, yeah?
Let's go
With
for the easy
240
one.
people.
We create a good north.
Wait, just wait. I just need to write. So 240 people moving towards
350
350 in
in
2030.
2030.
Okay, so what else?
We created a good north,
A good north.
connecting strategy with culture, with the team.
Okay.
Now we develop our readiness within the senior leadership team.
Okay. So it's answering the 3 questions for sure, right? So what type of phase? you're creating the readiness and the size of the organization. Okay, about 240 people moving towards 350. And that's the framing for the system. And let's just check what how Aviad is answering to that. So maybe we listen.
Javier, thank you for sharing this context. It's impressive to see such growth, and your intentionality in aligning strategy and culture through the North direction sets a strong foundation for your journey. Now, as you focus on the readiness phase and senior leadership, you're entering a critical stage, preparing your leadership capabilities and structures to truly support sustainable expansion. In this stage, a company of your size is likely navigating increasing complexity, not just in operations, but also in leadership, expectations, and the web of relationships that hold everything together. As you cultivate readiness in your senior team, it becomes about much more than skills or processes. It's about aligning leadership mindsets, bridging gaps between ambition and habits, and preparing to adapt with agility as new challenges arise. Before any real transformation, there is always a moment of deep preparation. It's less about doing more and more about being ready to allow something fundamentally new to emerge. If we look at your senior leadership team, what are the main challenges or obstacles you perceive right now in developing their readiness for the next phase? Are they more about motivation and engagement, beliefs and attitudes, execution and planning, or something else?
Should I?
Javier, what do you think?
Let's say the last checkpoint so that the team is more executing their strategic projects than collaborating as a leadership team.
Rather than
Collaborating as a leadership
collaborating as a leadership
team.
team. So it seems that you experience as CEO that the team is more transactional, right? That's
More
your
transactional.
okay.
So no change in behaviors.
That's a very honest and important observation, Javier. In fast-growing organizations, it's quite common for leadership teams to become excellent at parallel execution, but genuine collaboration, where the whole team creates value together beyond their silos, remains underdeveloped. The difference between a collection of project owners and a truly cohesive leadership team is often the hidden lever for scaling sustainable growth. A true leadership team is not a group of people who just meet and get things done. It's a crucible where new realities are born through collective wisdom and trust. Your focus now invites us to move from execution to deep collaboration. This also aligns with the readiness phase, ensuring your senior leaders don't just deliver individually, but operate as a mature team, weaving their expertise into shared results. Let me ask, in your experience, when your senior team meets, do you sense that they see themselves primarily as representatives of their own domains, or is there already a felt sense of collective purpose and shared accountability?
So maybe one other.
Looks like they pretend they have changed.
Sorry, what?
Looks
They
like
pretend.
they pretend they have changed.
Okay.
Maybe like too realistic, but
That's a subtle and sometimes uncomfortable insight, Javier. What you're noticing is a classic challenge in transformation, where surface behaviors shift just enough to look right, but the deeper alignment and trust needed for genuine team evolution haven't quite taken root. Leaders might say the right things in meetings, but their underlying patterns and loyalties can remain with their functional areas, not the team as a whole. This can create a sense of false harmony, which blocks open dialogue and shared risk-taking. In every transformation, there comes a moment when people wear new masks instead of growing new faces. The real breakthrough is not in acting differently, but in becoming truly different inside. Your honesty suggests you have the awareness to create a deeper shift. The next move is often about helping the team drop these masks safely so real collaboration can begin. If you imagine a meeting where everyone was truly open, where no one was pretending, what would you see or hear that is missing today?
Should we?
Yeah, maybe a one last round.
Would like to break the silos style they are performing.
The silo style.
Yeah.
I would like to break the silo style.
They are performing.
They are performing.
But Andy, can I ask you to add, as the last point in this discussion, to ask him also if he can give any practical ideas where to start?
Can you give me a practical idea
How
where
to start or how to work?
where to start
Yeah.
in the next team meeting? Okay.
Great. This longing to break the silo mentality is a powerful signal that you're ready for a new quality of leadership togetherness, not just new outputs. The most practical place to start is often the climate of the room rather than the agenda. When you create space where openness is not only allowed, but modeled, the team can move beyond polite cooperation to real connection and co-creation. The door to authentic collaboration opens only when someone dares to invite the others into a conversation they've never really had before. One meaningful experiment you might try at your next meeting. Begin by inviting each leader, including yourself, to share a moment when they felt they were truly part of a unified team, not just hitting individual targets, but creating something together that none could have done alone. This shifts the conversation from tasks to shared experience. Then gently ask, where are we right now as a team compared to that standard? Allow some silence. True collaboration begins with honest self-reflection, often more so than action. Transformation always starts with a courageous question and a space safe enough for real answers. Would you be willing to take this step, starting your next meeting this way? Or is there another approach you feel your team would respond to more openly?
Yeah, thanks, Javier. So maybe it's I would be curious to go on here, but we look on the clock and stop here. But you can see there is a seamless integration, and what we have talked before, that readiness is all about creating psychological safety within the team to make the change happen. The system starts to collaborate with the leader to give a good understanding about it and to support with concrete activities and understandings behind it, right? So this is now the transformation edition, and all the framework informations from to leadership is integrated there. And with this, saying this, I want to hand back to Sarah to talk about the next steps and some questions and whatever is coming up now for the rest of our time. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy, and thank you, Javier, for being so brave and sharing your dilemmas with us. Thank you so much. So, guys, it's time for questions, feedback, something you want to say, remark, add. Not everybody all at once, one by one, please. Anyone? Questions to Andy, to Aviad? Okay, I'll take it that everything is clear. And at this point, I would like to say that if anyone wants to get any additional information about the unique process of transformation that we lead and create and already is working and implemented in so many organizations. So if you want more information or you want to meet with us, with Andy, to know some more details, please feel free to contact me, Michal, whomever you feel free. We would like to offer you, if you would like, what we call the Parallel Intelligence Labs. We invite you to bring any one of your clients or your, prospective clients that want to tackle a certain issue to a one-on-one or one-on parallel intelligence meeting with Aviad in order to create, first of all, a solution or a way out of the challenges they're facing, and to really feel what it's like to have parallel intelligence or parallel Aviad, both in human and in the AI. So if you would like us to meet any one of your clients or yourselves in order to work through a challenge, please, we are here for you. It's a 60 to 90 minute session, and it brings real or innovative way of thinking of how you can do it in parallel intelligence.
Just to mention, Sarah, it is free, of course.
Free of charge.
And you can bring any client that you want if you prepare them. And I think it's a good way to the market, although many people are using AI, almost anyone, the AI coach and parallel intelligence, navigation and transformation takes more time to internalize. So we are offering this so that you can give your market a taste. And if anyone here is a client and not one of news partners, you can apply it for your own organization, this kind of a lab, or any one of our partners who are here. You can bring your client. We'll be happy to meet them, but with one real business issue, as Sarah said.
Yeah.
Sarah?
So thank you, everyone. I wish you all an amazing summer. I would like to personally thank Andy and Aviad for everything that they shared with us today, and Michal for making it happen. And thank you all for taking the time. And we are looking forward to seeing you all in the next marketing event in September. Have a great summer, everyone. If it's summer for you, of course.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Thank
bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.